Hey guys, it's Leesh, and welcome to another episode of Car Confessions. Guys, listen, today is Wednesday, October 8th, and I'm heading home from work. Hoping you all are doing well. How are you guys doing? Like, what's happening in your world? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully things are, not too hectic. Even though everything around us feels like so chaotic. It's like, what in the world is going on? But here we are. We're still living. We're still breathing, and doing our thing. But yeah, I am just really just trying to like figure out what is just even going on, right? And you might be thinking, like, what are you talking about, Leash? Like, just life in general. Like, what is going on? It's so funny because I was watching this TikTok reel. I think it was last night, and I was laughing at the same time. I was just like, oh my gosh, yes, thank you for this validation. But this guy got on a TikTok and made this video, and I was just like, oh, thank you. He basically was saying, like, you know, we're here on this quote unquote floating rock, and I'm totally paraphrasing. He's like, we're on this floating rock pretending like we know what to do, right? Pretending like we know all that is good and figured out, and we know the ways of pretty much how to navigate life. But he basically was saying like all this shit was really just made up by someone who decided that these are the standards. This is how humans should conduct themselves. This is what's considered good. This is what's considered bad. And then there are levels to good and bad, right? And when he said that, I mean, it just really just brought so much relief, at least to me, because I was just like, thank you for just saying this. Because I feel like so many times we are out here professing, and I'll just speak for myself, just professing that I know what the hell's going on and I've got this figured out, I got that figured out, uh, this, that, and the other. And then you realize it's like, actually, no, I don't have it figured out. And I have to go back to the drawing board and like figure out something from there, right? And like the video, from what I remember, the video ended with him just, basically saying like, guys, let's just exist. Let's just be. Like, let's not try and, overwhelm ourselves with all these rules, right? Just be in this world and experience this life, this human experience in a way that doesn't require us to have to like follow all these quote unquote quote rules and feel like we must do this, that, and the other in order to be, presented as a decent human being, right? I mean, this guy was not like, out here, basically telling folks like, just go rogue or anything like that. But it really just made so much sense to me in so many ways because, like I said, we go through life thinking that we have to do all these things and we must meet all this criteria. And then when we don't, right, there's the crash out. There's people just giving up on life or whatever, getting depressed. And it's like, someone created all of this. Someone created everything that we do in terms of like going to work, whatever. Everything was created in some way to create this reality that we are in. And then to know that, right? To know that this was all created, this is not something that, boom, this is how humans should be. Individuals actually decided to come together to create what we now know as our reality and how we live it out. And so knowing that, it's like, why couldn't we change that? You know what I'm saying? What is stopping us from changing this current reality that we are in for the betterment of the people, right? And when I talk about that, I mean, I talk about it a lot, like the whole, the people, power to the people. We have the power. We are the ones that can create change. And so if that is the case, we can create our own realities, that in a way that will serve us, right? Think about it, guys. We don't have to follow what we are currently experiencing because, I mean, listen, unless you are just part of the 1% and you're just out here living scot free and just, flailing and, well, not flailing, but like frolicking and living your best life. Shit's rough right now, right? And it's been rough for a while. Like, it's not like we've had a few months of, rocky road. No, this has been since the start of 2020. Stuff has been crazy town. And I mean, dare I say, for Black folks, it's always been crazy, but I feel like it's been heightened more so since 2020, right? I feel like as a collective, we're all feeling the heat. And it's not cool. Like, and it's all something that's not really helping the masses. It's helping a small percentage of folks that clearly know that this reality is not benefiting anyone but them, So I feel like right now we need to, like I use my voice. I raise my voice on things. I'm always standing up for what I feel is quote unquote right? And then you could argue with me, be like, well, Leesh. Then you just say, all that stuff was created. What's right? What's wrong? What's good? What's bad? I mean, yeah. But within my spirit and what I have started, implementing in my day to day, I feel like there are certain things that I feel should be addressed, and we need to talk about in order to have better outcomes in humanity. Not everyone believes that, right? And I feel like because I use my voice, my hope is that me using my voice will create the change that I feel is needed in this world. And will there be, you know, the negative, what I say is negative, that will still be around? Of course. Like, the yin, the yang, right? There's always going to be something, but the hope is that it'll be less of the evils and toxicity that we see happening uh, on a global scale, because this is just not sustainable, right? I mean, yesterday I was the energy was out of control yesterday. Like, it was just so intense, and I was just like, I'm tired. I'm tired of what this reality is providing for us, and I need to change it. I've got to change this up because this is crazy. Now, do I have a plan? No, I don't have a plan in place. I don't have a plan. But the point of it is like, something's got to give, right? Something has got to give, and I need to figure out what the next best thing is moving forward, because this is just not sustainable. It's not at all. And it's even more heartbreaking when you know about things like the government shutdown, right? And how it's affecting so many folks that work for the government, that are either having to still work and not get paid, or that are, basically in a way furloughed until the government decides to open back up. Operations are back in, normal mode, if you want to call it that. It's just wild to me, that this is how we are operating. And we're continuing on as business as usual. It's crazy to me. And I don't know if it's going to take all of us just not showing up to work. I don't know what it's going to take. But something has got to change. Something has got to change. And the thing is, too, is like with this whole government shutdown, you know, it doesn't just stop at what we think is quote unquote the government, right? Because I was just hearing earlier, what city was that, where the airports are being compromised because they don't have enough people, like staffing. I think it was like the TSA workers. They were like, no air traffic controllers not showing up to work. And oh gosh, I wish I could think of the name of that airport. It's slipping my mind right now. But it goes beyond what we think of, right? It's not just all the people in Congress, all the people that work directly in the spaces that we would think are government related. There are other people that we would not think of as being government based workers that are affected. And so because of that, um, there are things that happen in our day to day operations in this country that will either not be happening or be affected in some negative way. And then we are the ones who have to then, reap that tragedy or situation. Is it Chicago? Is it Chicago? I don't know. I think it's Chicago. They just hit me out. I think it's Chicago O'Hare. I think it's O'Hare Airport, which is like a huge airport. I mean, if you know anything about Chicago O'Hare, it's a major airport in the United States. Don't quote me, but I think it is Chicago. Anyway, or O'Hare rather, because Chicago has more than one airport. But yeah, I mean, it's just wild to me that we are what this is day 8 of the government shutdown, and from what I understand, it seems like there might not be an end in sight. But if these things that are continuing to happen, like the issues with flying, I mean, a lot of people fly for various reasons, business, all types of stuff, right? If this continues on, this type of nonsense, where we're seeing major operations in this country getting either shut down, or we're losing the ability to utilize these services, I'm pretty sure money is being lost, right? Because let's just say, for instance, folks that are just traveling for leisure, or even leisure, even business related travel, more times than not, people are going to request a refund from their from that flight, any hotel expenses that they booked a hotel. Dare say you rented a car. Like, there's so many entities that are affected by just the simple airline situation. Just that alone. And if you think about how many flights go in and out of Chicago, I mean, it's crazy. There are a lot. People travel a lot in these major cities. I live in New York City. I mean, we have what? We have LaGuardia, we have JFK, there's the White Plains Airport that's by me, there's the airport in Long Island. But the two major airports here, they're at their little airports here and there, they're scattered. For folks like, oh no, it's also this. Yeah, there are other ones too. I know, I'm aware. But JFK and LaGuardia are some of the busiest airports here in this country as well. And I mean, I've not heard anything about those two airports, but imagine flights going in and out of New York being compromised. Yikes. That would be intense. And it's already yikes because Chicago, like I said, Chicago is a major city. It's a major city in this country. Like, what? And there were some issues at one point. Oh, I forgot to mention the Newark airport. I know somebody's trying to say Newark. But also, even with Newark, there were some issues with them. I think like a month or two ago, they were having struggles with, I think was it air traffic control? It was either air traffic control or TSA, one of the two, where they didn't have staffing. They were having staffing issues. And so it's just like, where does this end? Right? And that's just the travel, right? That's just the travel. There's so many other issues that will be put in the forefront that we will find out about because of this whole shutdown. It's just wild to me. It's wild. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what this particular government, this administration, I don't know what the end goal is. Because eventually this government, it has to open back up. You know what I'm saying? Like, or I mean, maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? I would think logically, eventually it would open back up, right? And we would get back to some sort of business as usual, total air quotes. But we would get back into the swing of things. But there are just so many issues that are underway at this point. Because even down to the government shutdown, there was like a press conference where Trump was, I think he had a meeting with the Canadian leadership, and they were, talking their stuff, whatever, who cares. The conversation came up about, what was he want? He wanted this, so there's this, like, total side note, guys, there's this, what do you call it, motorcycle on the highway here, and I guess he's not driving fast enough for this car. It's New York. People are so impatient here. Like, everyone has somewhere to go, but actually nowhere to go. You know what I'm saying? They just want to keep going. It's crazy. But anyway, but yeah, so he's meeting with the Canadian leadership, and during that press conference, somehow they started talking about the government shutdown, and this is very, like, brief and not all the details that are involved with this conversation. They ask about it, and somehow the question, or it was raised about the folks being not being paid during this time. Trump said to some, basically saying like that. I don't know if it was like everyone or certain people. I'm pretty sure if anything, if he's uh, sectioning out certain people, I'm pretty sure he's considering like, oh, the liberals will not get paid. But it's like, how do you even determine that? Whatever. But basically saying that, government employees after this whole shutdown will not get their back pay. And this comes out of this man's mouth. And I'm like, sir, that is not even legal. What are you talking about? But then that just invokes more fear in people who are already worried about their job security. It's just like, what? Like, why would you say that? You're the president of the United States. You are the leader, well, leader in major air quotes, of this country. I mean, it's bad enough that you say the stuff that you say about who you consider that are liberals, right? And you go hard body about saying that they are not, I guess, like true Americans or patriots or whatever the hell you say, But then on top of that, you're telling folks they're not gonna get paid because y'all decided to shut down the government. Get the hell out of here! Like that is just beyond a slap in the face, you know. Especially when you think about the time that these folks in office, how long they are actually required to work, right? Like when you really think of how long they really work in a year, they don't work that much. Like not at all. Like their sessions and them coming in and blah blah blah. I mean, there's what 365 days in a year. At best, they might be working 200 of them. At best. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. It's not like you guys are just, grinding, at the bit here to make everything work. You show up, you do a little him hawing around, y'all argue with each other, and then you're back off to wherever you are going to. Meanwhile, the people are suffering. You know? It's crazy to me. It is crazy to me. And so all this comes back to what are we going to do, guys, in terms of our reality? We know all this stuff has been made up. We know these people have created all these different things. We have to change this up some way, somehow. I don't know how. This is just Leesh talking on Car Confessions, but just throwing the bug out there, guys. We have got to make some changes. Because this reality is this current reality that we're in, like this, you know, simulation situation we're in right now, it's not working. We got to change it up. We need some new players, you know what I'm saying, that are actually going to do some stuff that's going to really work for the people because this is whack. This is ridiculous. Like full stop. Yeah, I wore my new raincoat today, guys, and now it's 70 degrees, sunny. But it was so nice to wear my new raincoat. That was the joy of my day today. I got to wear my new raincoat that I got from the Max. Love it from TJ Maxx. Yeah, very nice, very nice. So that's my joy for the day. No, it's total side note. But anyway, guys, yeah, we gotta change this up. Like I said, I don't know how exactly, but something has got to give for real. All right, guys, short and sweet here for the car confessions. I'm gonna head up to the house here and figure out what's going on. But yeah, let's just stay hopeful. Pray that this government shutdown ends sooner than later, and that the people that are awaiting uh, their return to work will be able to do that and just have a little bit of stress taken off of them. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys. Like I always say, let's just keep on keeping on. Listen, I'll see y'all next week. All right. Bye.